Welcome to my review of a LEGO Star Wars set that is so iconic, it literally doesn't even have the set name on the box. This has to be the first time that's ever happened, right? As I was editing, I had an epiphany. There's a set that I keep on display in this room in the 7159 pod racing bucket from the year 2000 that I was pretty sure doesn't have the name of the set on the box, and sure enough, it doesn't. So this might not be a one-of-a-kind situation, but it's still certainly very, very uncommon. This is the 75407 brick-built Star Wars logo. That's the name on the LEGO.com website. But again, that will not be found actually on the box, which is crazy. It's got 700 pieces and a retail price of $60. So the price per piece good, but I've seen some very, very polar opposite opinions on this set online, essentially ranging from this is the greatest thing ever and it's going to be the centerpiece of my LEGO Star Wars collection to people who would rather spend their $60 on 200 chicken McNuggets they're not going to eat. So with that in mind, in this review, I'm going to help you decide whether or not you should spend your $60 on it. I'm also going to compare it to the $100 LEGO Marvel one briefly, so that'll be interesting to see. But on the box, I love what they've done. They've got a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away written there. You've also got the 1977 Star Wars A New Hope poster, and then on the other side, they give away the Easter egg that we're going to find inside of the box, which I don't love when they give away an Easter egg, but I understand the marketing perspective of it, wanting to show people that there's a little more than meets the eye to what looks like a very boring set to some people. Now, cutting into this box, you're going to find 3 numbered bags. The first 3 build the word Star, the second 3 build the word Wars, and then your instruction manuals kind of do the same thing. You have 2 manuals. Number 1 builds Star, number 2 builds Wars, and then inside of number 1, it's got a nice write-up about the partnership between LEGO and Star Wars and a little bit about the logo. And then what I found most interesting was that, of course, instead of a minifig at the bottom for your progress bar, they have used the micro versions of the Tantive 4 and Star Destroyer that you're actually going to find inside of the logo. So I thought that was kind of neat. And then the build process, I think, is more interesting than you could imagine this would be. I thought there were some very interesting techniques for something that looks so simple, but the build to me is always fleeting. You build it once, you put it on a shelf. What it looks like on a shelf is what you're going to have forever. So let's take a look at that finished model. First things first here, this thing is extremely clean looking. You can see on the face of it, on the lettering, there are no studs showing, except on the black in between, but you can barely see it because it's supposed to effectively be a void. And that same philosophy is carried to the top of the model, where you'll once again find no studs on the lettering, just on the black void. So there are still some studs showing, like a LEGO set, like LEGO really tries with a lot of their studs, where they could otherwise tile off part of their designs. They usually throw some studs in there. I'm so glad that they didn't do it with this Star Wars logo. I think it just looks supremely clean without any studs on the design. Now, the Easter egg is hidden underneath the tiling for the S and the T. You just pull up and away there, and it's kind of crazy how accurate these look, especially the Tantive. I was really blown away. The Tantive is built with 3 pieces, and it looks like a gosh dang Tantive. I couldn't believe it. I had a wow moment while I was building this. Then we've got the Star Destroyer, which I think doesn't look as good as a Tantive, but like, you know, whatever. It's going to be covered up 110% of the time anyway, because why would you display it like this? Maybe if they had made it pop open like this, some people would display it like that. I don't know, but I doubt anyone would really want to display it with the top off. And there is one thing I didn't notice in the spoiler picture at the beginning. They actually have Tatooine represented with like a little half tile there. So that's pretty neat. You get the whole little scene there from the beginning of A New Hope. I love that. It's the only Easter egg in the set, so don't get your hopes up for more there. We'll take a good look at the actual design of the lettering here, and basically each letter is perfect. There is very little like issues, even with like the Lego pieces where you get a little bit of like a gap there. There aren't really many gaps that aren't supposed to be there. The letter shaping is like spot on across the board here. It's insane how nice they were able to make this set, and in case you're curious, the backside is literally the exact same. It's not like it's walled off or anything. It's the same. It's just backwards. Here's the bottom, and there's no base or anything down there to give it any extra stability. I think it is stable enough on its own like that, so don't really have to worry about that. It's a fairly strong build, but it's not like impossible to break. You can see it flexing a little bit in my hand there, and certainly in the middle where it goes together would be the easiest place for it to actually break. So when you look at the Star Wars logo on top of the Marvel logo here, you obviously notice a Star Wars logo without the studs, and the Marvel logo does use studs on the design, and that's something I didn't love about that set. I just thought it kind of messed up what could have been a very clean design, and obviously as a mainly Star Wars fan, I'm just thrilled that they didn't do it to the Star Wars set. And looking at the top of the Marvel one, it's kind of ugly. It's not even 100% symmetrical with the studded design on top. So you end up with something that's not the prettiest versus the Star Wars logo, which I just think is much prettier. Again, it costs 40% less. It's 100 versus 60 bucks too. So you're saving some money. But this is where I'll talk about the biggest downside of the Star Wars one, and that's the fact that it doesn't have minifigs. The Marvel one came with 5 minifigs, and they're kind of standard Marvel characters. It's nothing exclusive or really unique that you couldn't have gotten otherwise. And if they had added figures to Star Wars like that, I wouldn't have liked it. Frankly, I would not want to pay $20, $30 more to get a Darth Vader, a Stormtrooper, Emperor Palpatine, a Luke Skywalker again that I've already got 20 of. But a George Lucas minifig certainly would have been a fitting addition to this Star Wars logo set, and I do feel like it's a huge missed opportunity, especially at the price. $60 feels high, because when you break it down on a per letter price, you're at $7.50 per letter. And when I hold it in hand, I don't see $7.50 a letter. I think $5 per letter is fair. Price per piece is out the door, fellas. It's price per letter these days. The other difference, by the way, on the Marvel logo is that there is real functionality built into it. And so I feel like while they are both logo sets and obviously very similar in that way, they couldn't be more different in the way that they were done, as far as like a clean tiled off Star Wars logo to like a studded, dirty looking Marvel logo with figures and functionality. Like, it's just polar opposites as far as the way they are done. And I feel like that may also sway some people into either liking or disliking the Star Wars logo based on how they felt about the Marvel one. All right, you've seen it next to the other logo offering from Lego, but how does this display with sets? And I would say fairly well. You can make a pretty nice display of sets around this logo. And I think I saw a clip where the Lego Star Wars designers said that this would be like the centerpiece of your collection. And I kind of chuckled at it. I didn't think that that was a very good description of a pretty bland logo build. As good as it is, it's just the logo. It's simple. But the more I thought about it, the more it makes sense. Yeah, you put it in the middle and you put a bunch of cool stuff around it, and it very well could be a cool centerpiece. Not in the way that it's like the coolest, rarest, or most expensive, whatever, I would historically have thought of as the centerpiece of my Lego Star Wars collection, but literally physically as the centerpiece, this works very well. I think when it comes down to it, I would recommend this to most Lego Star Wars collectors. It just looks cool on display, and I think that's what most of us are looking for. It's certainly what I'm looking for. And I also think, despite the 18 plus age rating and the obvious intent for it to be for adult collectors, this could also work really nicely in kids' rooms. It looks like something I would see as a kid in a bedroom set catalog on the nightstand next to the Star Wars sheets or something. It just feels like it fits that kind of vibe in a kid's room. So I'm pretty impressed with this. I like it. When I first heard about it, I thought it would be dumb, especially without the George Lucas minifig, and I still feel strongly about that, but the Star Wars logo, at the end of the day, is the Star Wars logo. I would just say wait for this one to go on sale at under $50. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. If you enjoyed, hit the like button, and you can check out more Lego Star Wars 2025 set reviews on the end screen now.